This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your playoff party. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious food and get ready for the playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
This is Program Password. We're at halftime, entering the second half. Good game. It's Gorgie and I against Ron Johnson, Little B. 4-point difference, right, Tenna?
Yeah, 40-36. Lil B and Ron lead Common and Kevin Gorg. As always, you can watch Program Password at KFAN.com/watch.
And all they've gotten is 10-pointers.
That's
right?
all they've got.
Oh, yeah.
Just all 10
They're
points.
just shooting them from deep.
Pretty
Correct.
good.
Really good.
Whose turn is it?
You ready to go?
Yeah.
I think it's there.
Lil B and KG
Okay.
have to look at the iPad. So look at the iPad now, please. The password is Kane. All right, KG, you're down 4. Once again, you can regain the lead. The option is yours. What do you want to do here, first or second?
We'll go first. Trust my partner.
Okay. All right, KG and Common for 10.
Citizen.
Kane.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought you maybe said cynicism.
I didn't know what he said. I thought he said cinnamon.
Yeah. But there was citizen. And
He got it.
Yeah.
This game's going to end quickly. You guys just get 10 pointers, just throwing them back at each other.
2 good squads here.
Common and Gorg lead 46-40. Common and Ron. Take a look at the iPad, please. The password is switch. All right, Ron, it's just been you and Gorg, it seems like, making the option decisions here for quite some time. It's on you again. You're down 6. You want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
All right, Ron and Lil B for 10.
Light.
Dark.
Common and Gorg for 9.
Toggle.
Switch.
Yes.
Did we get an eye roll? I wasn't paying close attention. No? No eye roll.
Yeah,
Common
laugh it
and
up, Chuckles.
Biggest lead of the game thus far. Wow. Common and Gorg lead by 15, 55-40. They are 25 points away from a win. Lil B and Gorg, take a look at the iPad. The password is pretzel. All right, Lil B, at least you finally get to make a decision here on the option. It's all yours. You're down 15. You want to go first or second?
Second.
All right. Gorg and Common for 10.
Bun.
Hamburger.
Lil B and Ron for 9.
Twisted.
Honey.
Gorg and Common for 8.
Snack.
Donut.
Lil B and Ron for 7.
Annie.
Pastry.
Gorg and Common for 6.
Salted.
Pretzel.
Dang it. I just, yep. Annie's pretzel. Yeah.
That's 3 in a row for Common and Gorg. They now lead 61 to 40. They're 19 points away from a win. Common and Ron, take a look at the iPad, please. The password is Ray. All right, Ron, time to get back on track. You're down 21 points. You got the option. You want to go first or second?
I'll go second.
All right, Common and Gorg for 10.
Gamma.
Fraternity.
Ron and Lil B for 9.
Sun.
Alpha.
Common and Gorg for 8.
Guy.
Have your mic on.
There we go.
Guy.
Sun.
Ron and Lil B for 7.
Charles.
King.
Common and Gorg for 6.
Blind.
Justice.
Ron and Lil B for 5.
Lewis.
No idea.
All right, last one. Common and Gorg for 4.
Sting.
I got no clue.
Who's Lewis?
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Ray.
Gamma ray. I thought everybody
Yeah, I knew Gamma Ray.
What's gamma ray? I don't know what that is.
Doc Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
belted by gamma
the
rays,
Hulk.
turns into the Hulk.
As soon as you said
80
Gamma, I
glamours.
was like, I was with you
I
on
don't-
that one.
That's why I said Charles, too. Ray
Yeah,
Charles.
Ray Charles.
And then I said
Damn it.
blind, so you'd know which Ray was
Yeah,
talking
that was
about.
tough. I was on
That's
the
why I
wrong
said Sun
wavelength.
Ray. The first one was Sun Ray.
Oh, right.
And I took it. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well,
By the way, Common, Ray Lewis, it's, I don't know about it anymore, but at one point it was really good to be Ray Lewis.
Wow. Trust me. Oh, yeah. I know that.
that was a tough one.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Okay.
All right, it's still 61 to 40. Common and Gorg with the lead. Lil B and KG. Take a look at the iPad. The password is Stump. All right, Lil B, down 21. The option is on you. You want to go first or second?
Second.
All right, KG and Common for 10.
Tree.
Limb.
Lil B and Ron for 9.
Round.
Trunk.
KG and Common for 8.
Mitchell.
Stump.
Wow. Who stumped Mitchell?
Washington Redskin back in the day.
Oh,
Great kick returner.
never
I
heard
knew
of
it
him.
was Stump
Great name.
before that, though. Just because round. There was good clues, good answers, but it either had to be Trunk or Stump.
Obligatory Zach Halverson tweet coming up. It's 69 to 40. Common and Kevin Gorg with the lead. Common and Ron. Take a look at the iPad. The password is Tank. Ron, you and Lil B have gone 5 now without getting a correct answer. It's time to stop the bleeding. You're down 29. You got the option. You want to go first or second?
Yeah, we got to go first.
All right, Ron and Lil B for a much needed 10 points.
Fish.
Fry.
Common and KG for 9.
Aquarium.
Tank.
Just throwing a word out there
Why didn't you say aquarium?
because I was thinking fish tank.
Stop thinking that.
So far in the second half,
It's okay. This is what I live for. This is my favorite part of the game.
If I'd gone first and if I said Panzer, would you have known?
No.
That's a German tank I just did.
I had no clue. No, thank goodness we didn't go that direction.
That would have been my clue, though.
Lil B and Ron led 40-36 at halftime. Common and Gorg have outscored them 42-0 in the second half. Ron, you've been in this spot before, though.
Yeah,
You've overcome a deficit like this before. Common and KG, you're at 78, so any correct answer, you are victorious. Lil B and Ron still need 40 points. You could get 4 10s in a row, though. Lil B and Gorg, take a look at the iPad. The password is Empire. All right, Lil B, down 38. The option's yours. You want to go first or second?
I'll try first.
All right, Lil B and Ron for 10.
Boardwalk.
Monopoly.
KG and Common for 9 in the win.
Vader.
Darth.
Lil B and Ron for 8.
Kingdom.
Castle.
KG and Common for 7 in the win.
Strikes.
Oh, I know.
Lil B and Ron
I got it.
for 6.
Throne.
King.
KG and Common for 5 in the win.
Vader.
Empire.
They win. 47-0, they outscore them in the second half. Common and Gorg victorious. KG, a little confidence builder. 4 wins in a row as you...
You and I would make really good program password invitational partners. I'm just
I
saying.
think there's something there.
I'm just
a
saying.
little chemistry going on there?
There's some chemistry going on there.
Yeah.
It was sort of like Kaprizov and Faber. No, that's what I felt.
I would say
that was
Kaprizov
like.
Zuccarello.
Yeah,
Would
that's
have been
better.
better. Yeah, the better way.
Peanut
to go.
butter and jelly.
Yeah, it was like.
Yeah, we're older guys. The movies, you don't seem as entertained.
I am not entertained.
I was thinking Strikes Back, but yeah, I didn't have Empire.
Yeah.
Boardwalk was a good clue.
Yeah.
But
Is that a TV show?
Yes.
See, because I don't watch TV.
I've never watched that show in my
Yeah,
life.
I know. I
The TV
thought.
show's Boardwalk?
Empire. Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that.
Oh, for God's sake.
But I mean, I
I
knew
watched
that.
the show Empire with Taraji P. Henson. Like, I would have got that. But yeah, Monopoly Empire.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, we love
Terrific.
Ron thinks
Good time,
Empire is
Ron.
the person he gets mad at the softball games.
I can't wait to hear the post-game show on my drive home. This is going to be terrific. Bring your good stuff, Lil B.
Very good.
Bring your
Thanks, guys. Lil B, as always, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Can't win them all.
We might have O'Connell. Is that correct? Is Kevin O'Connell?
Potentially at
Potentially
2:30,
at 2:30 addressing the media. We may hear from him. We'll do that if we do. Otherwise, we'll just do victory formation segment. A short break. Tennessee has a bonus bucks keyword for us.
Yeah, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword win at KFAN.com right now for your shot at winning. The keyword is win. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
The word on the street then was he's too country for pop. But then once I got to country, it was he's too pop for country. So I kind of never really had a place to fit in, but that's exactly how and why I fit. I just embraced that. Like, yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Lunch. Maybe he was really, really sick. No, what I did was Tennessee was handed a Dark Star Memorial earlier in the week. It was put on his desk. He handed it to me, and I can't find it. No! I'll look again during the next break, and we'll do it on the other side. But I do have one for you. And it's from the Brokaw family. Scott Brokaw, who used to be a salesperson here, had his own ad agency, and I've been working very close with him the past few years. And this is from the Brokaw family, Vicki, Ryan, Brett, and Scott Jr. It says, Common, wanted to send a memorial for my dad. Appreciate your kind words. We will deeply miss him and his love and humor he shared with all. We lost Scott May 1st unexpectedly. We were all devastated, but know with each passing day it will get better. We will draw upon experiences from his life as a kid on the farm until the end of his time on earth doing what he loved, being a grandpa and selling. Scott was from North Dakota, but he has spent the last 45 years being a husband, dad, grandpa, coach, mentor, average fisherman, great bowler, comedian, and a hell of a media salesman. Most recently with his own venture, but had the pleasure of working with Common, CCO, KQ, KS95. There are too many colleagues and clients to name, but the family thanks all of you for the support and friendship you gave to Scott. That sales carrot always dangled in front of him and kept him young at heart. No matter who, Scott wanted to be a friend to make you laugh. Dad's going to be up there complaining about the Twins and Gophers, but will always root for them. It hurts like hell, but he was strong in his faith and is in a better place. And again, the Brokaw family, Vicki, Ryan, Brett, Scott Jr., thanks, Common. Appreciate you, and we appreciate the Dark Star Memorial and Scott's friendship that I had with him. It was more than a working relationship I had with Scott. We've become friends, too, so it did happen unexpectedly.
And I grew up with the Brokaw family.
Oh, you
did?
Yeah,
his son, Scott, was my age. We both went to Cedar Island Elementary School together, so played some sports together, and then obviously Ryan was a couple years younger than us, but yeah.
Yeah, very, very small world then, but very difficult. So there's your Dark Star, and I'll look for that other one, and I apologize if whoever gave it to you and put it on your desk, I don't know who it was, but I feel, and that happens sometimes. I one time left out one and somebody got really mad at me. And I said, well, I left it on the printer. Sometimes I just don't see it. Or I think he sent it when I'd already left. I don't remember, but somebody was really mad. I try to get to all of them, and I do occasionally leave it on the print or miss it. And if I do that, I'll always try to make it up to you. Well, here's one that said, my grandma passed away a few days ago. I miss her a ton. Can you have a Dark Star say hi to her? Sure. So there you go. That was a text message. Dark Star Memorial Hour. Yes, I feel bad. I'll try to look for that one during that break. Maybe I'll find it somewhere. What was I going to say to you? Oh, first of all, we are going to do the Program Password Invitational again, right? How many years have we done that? We've done that 2 or 3?
We've done 3.
We've done 3.
This will be year 4.
And I don't even remember who won, because when I don't win, I just get bitter.
You weren't in attendance last year for the championship.
Yeah. I was out.
So last year it was Greg Swedberg and Paul Charchian won. So last year we did a draft.
That's right.
After I had picked the teams the first 2 years.
Yeah.
We're going back to me picking the teams for year 4. So just trying to navigate everybody's schedules. Hoping at some point next week we'll have a Program Password Invitational bracket reveal. Now,
I'm always the last one to know, and again, in this case, I had no idea Paul Charchian was leaving and moving. He's gone, right? Are you aware of that?
I know. I don't know if he's gone this second, but as of last week, he said he was going to. He's moving on to Utah.
He's moving on to Utah.
He was done working here.
So, he's not
in the turn. No,
so he's not.
I didn't even bother inviting him. Yeah.
because that's why I figured he was gone, but maybe he was going to hang around for a while. So Charchway, he was a hell of a program password player, right?
The only 2-time champion.
Yeah. So
you could argue greatest of all time. Mount Rushmore of program password. He's won 2 ships.
Yeah. And he's also one of the greatest preposterous statement utterers of all time, too.
That will be missed.
That will be missed.
That's a huge blow for us.
That's a huge blow for us because those were a lot of them. So, yeah, it's the reveal we think will be, say, next week, hopefully.
Yes, I just got to get the schedule I'll put together.
And that's the hard part.
And we're hoping to start,
yeah,
having a game already next week.
Right, and I apologize for not getting back to you right away.
I was a little late to go on this as well.
But that's the hard part is everybody has busy schedules. So It's like, well, I can do this day, but not this one, this one, and this one. And I can do this one, and then there's hard to match them
It's also vacation time for a lot of people, too.
Yes, indeed. But
a lot of cabins going on.
It's who did win? I don't even remember who won them all. Who won the first one?
First one was Team Todd, Justin Gard and Ryan Donaldson.
Okay.
Second year was Corey Cove and Paul Charchian.
Okay.
Last year was the draft, and that is, Greg Swedberg kept sliding in the draft.
He did, didn't he?
Charch scooped him up, and the two of them were victorious.
They went all the way. And it was Max and I. Did we get drilled our first round, or did we win? I feel like I've gotten drilled.
Well, you played with Muss last year.
Was it Muss? Oh,
yeah, because you had the last pick in the draft.
It goes without saying we got drilled.
It was mustrating.
Yeah, it was very mustrating. I thought I was with Max one year. Was I or was I not?
Yes. Yeah. I think you were. Was it the first year where you were with Rosen?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think, I got
the second year it was the Drip Brothers.
So, I'm just, I'm a great regular season player. I really haven't done very well in postseason. I'm one of those guys that I guess it would
you had Muss on your team last year. So
I guess I'm Minnesota Twins-like. Remember when they were making the playoffs all the time but just couldn't win? I guess that was me.
So I kind of had teams all set up. Your performance with Gorg may have to change some things. I don't know.
That was a hell of a performance.
Yeah, you had some good chemistry.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And and again,
though the person I have you with would have been good chemistry too.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know if you want to change.
It doesn't. You put me with whoever you want. Yeah, I basically did that for the bid, just because with it coming up, I'll play with anybody you want me to play.
You're like Jimmy Butler. As long as I'm on the team, we got a chance to win.
As long as I'm on the team, I have a chance to win.
I think we can win.
That's exactly right. I wonder if I got any more bitter people. The guy that called me the AH word because I dared suggest that if the Wolves win the title, put an asterisk on their banner. And I was saying that not literally they should put an asterisk, but when somebody else said, all teams lose players. Julius Randle was out. Well, Julius Randle was out for 20, 25 games during the regular season. And again, they did miss him, but we're talking about the best 3-point shooter in basketball. The team's built around him in Steph Curry, and he got any bad hammy. They hung on to one game one. It's going to be hard for them to win without him. Everybody knows that. That's not. And again, you're right. I mean, I'm not suggesting that the Wolves, if they beat Golden State and win an NBA title, Western Cup, that they should apologize for it. I'm just saying, a friend of mine, I sent that text to him. He said, I wouldn't feel bad about it one bit. And I said, well, you shouldn't feel bad about it. I'm just bringing up the fact. I said, for instance, Tenneby, there is an asterisk next to Roger Maris's 61. Why? He broke Babe Ruth's record, 61 home runs in 1961. Babe Ruth had 60. Babe Ruth did his in 154 games. Maris did it in 162 because the last home run he hit to break the record was in the last game of the season. So it took him 6 more games to do. It's just a fact. But I still say Roger Maris is the home run. Well, he was. Now, the steroid guys, I don't even, didn't Bonds and Sosa and McGuire all break the 61, right?
Yes.
All of them did. Yeah. But were all 3 of them steroid tainted? All 3? I thought they were, right? So for me, that's different. That's asterisks on those ones. And Maris, so to me, Maris is the all-time home run leader, but it is with an asterisk because it took him longer. Just like when you beat a team when they're missing their best player, it's not nearly as difficult. It's not the Wolves' problem. Just put it. You got to remember, this is the tough love covenant too. And occasionally where we like to take the minority view. And I do think, I think you agreed with me that it is.
It feels different.
It does feel a little different.
Yeah.
It really does. It just is. It's like if you were to play Kansas City in the playoffs and Mahomes got knocked out of the game in the first quarter, it would feel different. Well, we beat Kansas City with their backup, whoever I don't even know who their backup is, but we beat their backup. That's not like Quayton beating Pat Mahomes. So we'll break.
It's as if they had like these on the PGA Tour. If in the majors they had not allowed live players to play in majors and you're winning majors, it just feels a little different.
It does.
It's not all the best players in the world out there.
That is absolutely
still
correct.
Play great. You still beat who you're supposed to beat.
But if Koepka, DeChambeau, Rahm aren't in it, man, that you're right. That's not the same. We'll come back. I think we are. I think we might have Kevin O'Connell. He's supposed to address the media. We're hoping we'll be able to get that. We'll do that on the other side of the break. Otherwise, we'll just tap dance as we always do in a victory formation segment next on The Fan.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
The word on the street then was he's too country for pop. But then once I got to country, it was he's too pop for country. So I kind of never really had a place to fit in, but that's exactly how and why I fit. I just embraced that. I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Double 13-14 pass, Common Man program victory formation segment. Our timing couldn't be more impeccable. I believe the head coach of the soon-to-be Big Game World Champions, Kevin O'Connell, is starting his news conference.
Since whenever he was initially going through his initial cancer treatments and everything, but I'm sure we'll hopefully be able to connect soon. And no bigger fan of Randy Moss than me. Yeah, I think a lot of it was on display today. I mean, the starting point of just, pretty efficient thrower of the football from a standpoint of fundamentals, technique, his ability to generate some pretty good revolutions and RPMs on the ball with pretty limited movement in the pocket. I have a lot of respect for PJ and his staff and how they've coached football over there from a standpoint of his high football IQ. I think shows up when he can really arrive here, spend a couple hours in meetings, and he's out there making corrections in the middle of a 7-on-7 walkthrough leading into a period or whatever it is. So you're already seeing a lot of the things that we really identified in Max to bring him into a quarterback room that we're really excited about. And I think he had a great first day and looking forward to seeing now. And that's our whole group. That's everybody out here. Pretty efficient, solid first day. Looked like football. That's always the starting point goal. But now can we come back and do the things that pros do, which is come back and have an even better day tomorrow. And my expectation, Max will be one of the guys leading that charge. Well, it did from a standpoint of the new rules with pro days, because I always like to get over to the Go for Pro Day, not only to see, PJ's had some really good rosters, but also to support what he's doing over there as a good friend of mine. And he got a chance to throw last year and caught my eye then. And then, that obviously any chance I could get, didn't get a chance to watch them in person. But obviously anytime that the Gophers were on TV and I could see it, just watching a lot of the things. And then we spent some time with their coaching staff a little bit, sharing ideas and, how we do things and some of the ways we teach things. And so there's some good carryover for things that he's done during his time with the Gophers. And, but anytime that I get to a pro day of the same guy 2 years in a row, somehow, I didn't even know that was possible, but I felt pretty good about Max as a thrower when we were able to get him here. Yeah, they allow the underclassmen now to throw, which is a huge thing, because you get a dry run at a pro day, you get in a lot of ways probably not with the same amount of preparation, which made it even more impressive because I thought he threw the ball really well both years.
Outside of the on-field stuff, what are the biggest things that you hope to sort of take away from these players?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, you're going to go back and you're going to watch the 7-on-7 reps or some of those reps first. But I love seeing the individual periods, seeing what Keenan and Coop and Curtis Modkins and Ange and these guys are doing on offense, with their one-on-one coaching, and watch a guy's first rep and then see what it looks like by the end of individual tomorrow. And you can normally see some pretty strong growth even in that short amount of time. Defensively, it's the very same thing. Can our communication, who's the guy driving the communication? Is it Kobe King? Is it, whoever it is? And then notice the impact it has on the other guys out there who, let's face it, they don't know it as well as they'll know it when they really start to insert themselves into the conversation around here. But it's really not about that. It's more about just trying to see the incremental growth here and there. And with our coaches, I think we got the best coaching staff, coach for coach out there. They do such a great job in this setting, getting the most out of not only the guys that are here, draft picks, CFA's guys that were signed, but the tryout guys as well, because we want to honor, our commitment to all these guys to give them the best chance to show what they got. Yeah, it's a great question, because really all three of those guys in camp here, they're on our roster because we only had two going into the draft. So we really identified all three of those guys for in different ways where how they would fit with the other two guys that we feel so great about, and TJ and Josh. But yeah, there's no question. Coach Ange is going to be pushing those guys really hard, because more than likely you're looking at. The third guy, the third tight end is in that group, hopefully. And then we hope the other two are pushing right there to either make it a hard decision on keeping four or what's it look like on the practice squad and all those things. But critical. And I thought Gavin, that's a position that sometimes between the film evaluation, the pro day, seeing the tape of it, and you just hope that they show up and and look the way you hope that they look, and Gavin definitely did. I don't want to use the social media analogy of, somebody looking exactly like they look in their picture, but Gavin definitely checked the box on that. He was moving great, caught the ball really well, and he's been in that offense at Pitt that really demonstrated, a couple different coordinators, and he got a big old stamp of approval from Jordan Addison from very early on in his career when he was teammates with Jordan, which was cool. Yeah, it's always important for me to start out, and I always congratulate them. I want to honor the fact that these guys are going to be wearing Minnesota Vikings helmets and NFL uniforms in a lot of ways, and I remind them to make sure they realize, think back to that state championship high school team you had. Think back to that, championship, junior high team you had, and how many of those guys do you see sitting in this room right now? And for the most part, most of them, I've never had somebody say, well, I actually won it with that guy right over there. So the message holds up from a standpoint of it's an honor. It's it's something these guys have been working their whole lives for. But at the same time, two things: it's just football, and your real journey's actually just beginning. And then I get into a lot of the stories of C.J. Ham or Ivan Pace or, Gabe Murphy or, Bo Richter, any of these guys, and because I think it hits home when you show them a clip of Ivan Pace making an interception at rookie minicamp and then, picking a ball off to seal a explosive 3-0 win in Vegas a few years ago. But I tried to hide the score when I showed that clip today. But it matters, and I want those guys to know that it matters to me, matters to our coaches, and they're going to get the best of what we got to coach them up this weekend, and then we'll let the chips fall where they may. But don't have a fear-based outcome of if I don't do this, then my career is going to be over, or I better not drop a ball, or I better not throw an interception. That's not what this weekend is for. Hopefully we can evaluate a little stronger than that to be able to project what these guys can hopefully become. Yep. Yeah. I just think to play the quarterback position, there's such a baseline of intelligence at multiple spots that you just end up cross-learning things. Like, how is a tight end taught to run this route, and why is he taught that? So that he can win leverage in the quarterback, so I can throw that ball away from the defender. Well, now I'm the guy running the route, and it might be a little bit more of a plug-and-play kind of teaching because he has some of that experience. And some of it, can also work as something you've got to overcome. Preconceived notions of I don't do this. I know I'm not getting the ball in cover 2, so do you still get the same route? Do you still get the same, so I think it can work both ways, but as far as my experience with it, it's been a positive for the players that we've been around if they've got that kind of club in their bag. Yeah, you guys know we don't do team. I've been around some rookie mini camps where there was full speed team and a lot of injuries and a lot of guys just fighting to make a team. So we don't do that, but we do get, some time together as a full group. And then to me, this is about for the O-line, D-line. It's about them being ready to enter the party on Monday with our full team. And as we start progressing towards phase 3 and OTAs and minicamp, there's a lot of ways those guys can get a lot out of it from a technique, fundamentals, and all that standpoint. So it's the Chris Cooper and Keith Carter Invitational over there, O-line camp. We don't charge those guys too much for that.
Last one to Marker. What did you like about Trey Stewart whenever you guys were getting around?
Yeah, I think, we wanted to really try to find, looking at Aaron and Jordan and Ty and obviously Zay, who's got a chance. We wanted to find some skill sets, some explosiveness, some physicality. We wanted to find that, much like what we were thinking with the receiver room. We wanted to find some traits in a Ty Felton, explosive, a guy that can fly, 4.37, hands catcher, away from his body, multiple positions, smart enough, tough enough to do a lot. Like, that's what we were hoping to kind of accomplish. And as guys were getting picked there, we were fortunate to have a chance to bring him in. And now he just goes into a competitive situation. And what that looks like is you truly never know. And everybody talks about quarterbacks and receivers and how spread offenses and how it's hard to evaluate. I think the running back position has become more difficult, especially down the line as you go on and so forth into the draft, because we're going to be in the gun quite a bit, run the ball out of the gun quite a bit, but we also need to know if a guy can stand in the dot and run wide zone, run downhill, tight zone, gap scheme, and it's just sometimes harder to see on their college tape, and there's a big time adjustment to that if they've, it's like a quarterback having never been under center. You're saying, yeah, we're going to be able to coach them up to do it, but you really, in a lot of ways, based upon a lot of tape, don't know. So, but early, response and everything, and hopefully get him out here doing a little bit more as we go.
Time for 2 more questions, guys.
Yeah, I think there's a good example of it, really right in our room. I think Aaron Jones is one of the best pass protecting quote unquote every down type backs we have in the league. And he's not necessarily the biggest, strongest guy, but show me a guy doing some of the things that Aaron does, snap in and snap out. And I know the body types are a little different, but you get the point. So much of it is fundamentals, technique, and a willingness to do it, because it is a thankless job at times. Thanks, guys.
Hey, that's it. It was actually time for two more. I got to turn the. Hold on. When I crank that speaker up when I'm wandering around the studio and have my headset off, sometimes it sends feedback. So, he had time for two more, yet only did one. So it's cut off a little short, but that's all right with us. So that's Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if there was much to chew on there, Tenneby, that you heard. We don't do Rock'em Sock'em Robots during this time of the year. And I like that. There's no reason to have guys smacking each other around. Save the hitting and the tackling and the blocking for real game action. So someone wrote this, and this is a good way to describe it, and I think it's true. But I do like, whoops, wrong one. Oh, no, that is right. Kevin O'Connell needs to learn how not to say so much. That's like one giant run-on sentence. And it kind of is, isn't it? He just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and it stops. And for our purposes, it's actually really good. And he's got
a little Mark Rosen to him.
Yeah, he does. And he does just do one run-on sentence. And I know a lot of these guys do that football speak stuff nowadays, where, we've talked about this. There's oftentimes, particularly the news conferences before drafts or free agency, where they don't really say a lot, because they don't want to tip their hand. But so it won't be long, Tenneby. I think it's 46 days till the days start getting shorter. Sorry. I'll probably be called a AH for that too.
Wet blanket.
Yeah, well, it's true. It won't be long before the days are shorter.
Feels pretty nice out there, though.
There were a couple of other text messages that came in. I told you it was going to be controversial. It was going to be wet blanket. By the way, I forgot Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs. I totally forgot. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
I didn't. So when I said Roger Maris is still the record holder, people thought I was doing the reeling him in thing, but I really wasn't. I'd forgot that Aaron Judge had 62, but he did. So, and I don't think his was steroid tainted. He did it in 162 games, just like Roger Maris did. So to me, then, that's your all-time home run, single-season home run leader would be, here come the Judge.
All rise?
Yes, all rise. This one says, in 2025, guys, why can't a multi-billion-dollar business provide a microphone for the questions? Well, I don't know what kind of setup they have out there.
Well, they're outside.
Yeah, and
they're
I don't
outdoors.
think they really do it for the radio station.
It's not like a major press conference.
And I don't think they're doing it for the radio station. They're doing it for the people that are there. They're just we just decided to jump in.
And I've been to some of those pressers before too, where they do have a microphone, and it's one person holding it, and then you got to wait extra long for them to hand it to the next person.
Yes.
There's not a lot of flow to it.
Here's one. So there's no one else between the Wolves and the title. That's it. Steph out and the road's easy. Come on. I didn't say the road was easy. I didn't say it was paved with Golden State. I didn't say it was easy.
Well, it's not as challenging.
No, but it's not as challenging.
Yeah. Doesn't mean it's easy.
No, and they should be able to get past Golden. Look, and again, maybe I think too highly of Steph Curry and Golden State. I picked them once they traded for Jimmy Butler. I said they were going to win the NBA championship. And they got to the Western Conference Finals. And with Steph, I think they had a really good chance to win that series. The Wolves certainly could, if Steph stayed perfectly healthy, they could have won game 2 just like they did. I didn't say they couldn't, but it is less. No one said it was easy. And I also feel like, I think it would be harder for them to get past the Dubs than it would be Oklahoma City or Denver, I feel. I just do. I just think Golden State with that combination of Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy Buckets, I just thought it would have been tough to do. And then there was this one that says, Putting an asterisk on potential Wolves championship is ridiculous, so I agree with the texter. You therefore should put an asterisk on almost every champion, since chances are the other team that lost had some sort of injury, which I responded on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line at 64686, and I've not received a response yet. Provide us with names, and we'll see if they stack up with Steph Curry. Right? I mean, every team loses players throughout the season, I think. But losing Luka Garza, and I'm just using that as an example. I know that Luka's not hurt, but my point is, it's apples and oranges sometimes, right? It's different players.
Let me try to. How about the last wild season? This past season. Let's say they don't make the playoffs, right? Because they took them to the last game. Mm-hmm. Let's say they don't make the playoffs. The vast majority of Wild fans, media members, not that you're putting an asterisk on, but you're like, well, I mean, the reason they didn't make the playoffs is because Kirill Kaprizov and Joel Eriksson got hurt.
Right.
Right? And so you wouldn't just make, like, if those two had stayed healthy the entire year and they had just gone in the tank and didn't make the playoffs, you might be like, should we be firing the head coach? Right. Should we be firing the GM? Exactly. But the way the season transpired, you wouldn't fire the head coach and the GM because you'd go, well, they were missing their two best players. They were one of the best teams in hockey up until those two getting hurt, and then they fell off the table. Yeah. So there's your little asterisk as to why they didn't make the playoffs.
I don't think they should not accept the NBA championship trophy if they win it. Say, you know what, we really don't want it because we feel bad for Golden State. Injuries happen. This one says, are you aware that the first Golden State championship came against the LeBron James Cavs, and in the finals, Kyrie broke his kneecap in Game 1 in a Cleveland road win? Caleb didn't play at all, having been injured on a dirty play by Kelly Olynyk earlier in the playoffs. So do they have an asterisk, or are they just four-time champs? That's an asterisk. If Kyrie Irving was out with a broken kneecap in Game 1, that's an asterisk. So he thought I would do the old, well, nope. How am I
going to get out of this one?
Yeah, that's how you get out of that. That's an asterisk. Now, they deserve the trophy, and it's theirs, right? It's just, I told you people would think it was controversial. We think out of the box here. It's an esoteric approach.
Everyone I've heard talk about Wolves Warriors after Game 2 is like, the Wolves are going to win the series.
Yeah.
And they think Wolves will win in 5.
Correct.
The reason for that is because the other team's best player got hurt. Yes. We would not be talking like that if he was still healthy.
That is correct.
In fact, it might not be 1-1 if he was still healthy.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Go Wolves.
Yes.
Trounce them. Again, it's they don't have to apologize. They don't have to feel sorry for it. It was even, which players, somebody with the Wolves, I think it might have been DiVincenzo, said, I wish he was playing. I want to beat the best.
Yes.
I wish he was.
They don't want him hurt.
No, they don't want him hurt. So there you go. But go Wolves. Hopefully when we come back, they'll be up 2-1. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit. I'll talk to you tomorrow from Cragen's. It's Tee to Green at 10 o'clock. Big ticket JG there next year in the Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Well done, young man!
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.